Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today Ms. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, the chairperson of Biocon, one of the most impressive women India has seen. She is many things. She is a biotech pioneer, she's an ace philanthropist, she is a healthcare visionary, she's also a billionaire entrepreneur. She has many descriptions. She's one of the most influential women India has produced, and I don't think she needs any further introduction. So we'll go straight to the questions, Ms. Shaw. Maybe we can start with what do you think Bengaluru needs to be ready for the future?
So first and foremost, I have always believed that if there's one city that can actually position itself as an international city of the future, it is our city of Bengaluru. And I think when we look at what makes Bengaluru tick, it's really about its science and technology, ecosystem. It's about its entrepreneurial energy, because I think we have first generation entrepreneurs who have been driven by science and technology, and that's what makes us very special and unique. And of course, it's our startup ecosystem, and it's really about the very cosmopolitan culture that we have in this city, thanks to really the technological base that we have created. So we have everything it takes to be future ready. But what we now need to think about is, what do we really need to do to be future ready? So we've got everything that it takes to be future ready. Have we leveraged our capabilities enough is the question, and the answer is a big no. I do believe that we have the necessary resources and the necessary capabilities to make us future ready. So I think that's what we really need to focus on. I think the Chief Minister put it very well. He said, we know what's wrong with the city, we need to fix it. But we need to fix it in a very different way. We need to fix it with the future in mind, not just about quick fixes. I think Bangalore has been far too focused on quick fixes and moving on, and that's not helping us. I think we need to plan ahead. We need to really make big changes in the way we fix problems, and I think that's what it's about.
Mr. Shaw, I think this is a great time to ask you, what are your biggest pet peeves about Bengaluru, and what can we do to address those?
I think everybody will agree that it begins with traffic. I think Bangalore has grown very exponentially and in an unplanned way over the last several decades. I think we were a very well planned city up into the 90s. But thereafter, with the technology boom that took place the world over, and Bangalore was the most affected in a very positive way, I might add. I think we grew too fast. We didn't plan far enough and fast enough. And I think we were not able to catch up with the growth in every sense of the word. And that's why I think we are now suffering from the pitfalls of what we did not do at that time. So I think traffic is certainly one of the biggest grievances of all Bengalurians, because it just destroys the quality of your life. Because if you take 2 hours to commute to work and 2 hours to get back home, I think that's not a great quality of life. And with traffic congestion, of course, comes problems of pollution. And of course, unplanned infrastructure and development has also caused a lot of other problems of waste management, of sewage treatment, and all that goes with growing populations. So I think planning has been our biggest weakness. We haven't planned well enough, and we haven't planned in a coordinated way. So the BMLTA Act that has just been passed by the cabinet, I think is long overdue but very welcome, because it's never too late.
Absolutely.
And I think having a kind of a comprehensive synchronized mobility which makes it seamless and efficient is the first problem that can be tackled in that way. The second thing is about having a clean Bangalore, because cities of the future have to be clean. Bangalore hasn't been a very clean city, again because of unplanned waste management. I think that is another area which you just heard the Chief Minister saying that we will deal with waste management at ward level. And I think that's something that we've been advocating for a long time. To me, another aspect of a safe, future-proofed city is also about safety and security. And I think surveillance is a very important part of that. And with new technologies, we can do that. So I, for one, I think I'm a great believer that clean air, clean water, safety, and of course, mobility are the factors that will drive a future-proofed city. And that's why I say that using technologies that will measure these real time, such as sensors, such as data, and such as cameras, will actually start making the city a much more future-proofed city.
Excellent. So, Mr. Shaw, where do you rate Bangalore when it comes to its contribution to being a global research hub? What else can we do to make it better as an R&D hub?
Look, I think, it's a proven fact that Bangalore has the talent that you need for research and innovation. And I think the fact that you've got 400 global centers in Bengaluru itself tells you that it's a big draw, it's a big catchment for talent and for such companies. So I think from that point of view, I think we have a huge research resource in Bengaluru, thanks to the scientific institutions that we have created over time, thanks to the kind of human capital that has been created over time. So I think from that point of view, yes, I think, it's no surprise that Bengaluru is the science capital and the research capital of the country. And then added to that are, of course, these new institutions like the Science Gallery Bengaluru, the Museum of Art and Photography, and then you just heard about the new museum that's going to map out the scientific journey of Bengaluru and the technological journey of Bengaluru, which will showcase to citizens about how it all happened. I think what is really required are, research, this research temper is there. What you really need are sort of policies that make it easier to collaborate. Right now it's very difficult to have cross-border collaborations, exchange of information, materials, academic exchanges, scientific exchanges. These have to be made much easier. And I think that is a responsibility not of the state so much, but of the center. I think the state would be very amenable to do all this, but it needs the nod of the center. And I think the center is also very seized with this opportunity, and I think they are going to try and enable it in the best possible way.
So, Mr. Shaw, what do you think are some of the technologies that will power our future?
I really believe that obviously data science has a very big role to play in the future. You have a lot of quantum science which is also going to play a very big role in the future. For me coming from the biotech sector, I think genomics is going to be playing a very, very important role in the future when it comes to every aspect of biotech, whether it's synthetic biology, whether it's recombinant biology, but genomics has a very important role to play. And then the combination of genomics, data science and AI is going to be really, really powerful in next generation cutting edge innovation.
Excellent. So what should we expect from your company, Biocon, next? I know you've been trying to crack the world of biosimilars, and you're trying to now, play a bigger role in some of the developed markets to, really broaden your reach. You've made some really smart acquisitions. So what should we expect next from Biocon in terms of trying to, fill your missing capabilities? And also, when should we expect that IPO of Biocon Biologics?
Thanks for those questions. I think biosimilars is a huge opportunity for Biocon. It's a huge opportunity for India. And I think this is a need of the hour as far as global healthcare is concerned. So I think we have a very large opportunity to be a dominant player in biosimilars, and we've got everything invested in to make us global scale. So we have global scale manufacturing, global scale R&D, and of course now we've got a global scale company that gives us an end-to-end footprint in biosimilars. We've also, invested very smartly in novel molecules, and I'm very delighted to share with you that our company Bicara that we spun off a few years ago has suddenly started, generating a lot of very, very valuable clinical data on the first molecule, a bispecific antibody for cancer, and the data is looking very good. And I think, of course, now that company has been spun off in Boston, and that company in Boston is now garnering a lot of interest, investor interest, and hopefully we will see a great molecule coming out of that company. They also have a nice pipeline of products, but at least the first molecule that will probably be delivered to the market is a very exciting molecule. Okay. The other thing that I'd also like to share with you is the fact that I have co-founded a startup, Immunil, for CAR T therapies. This is the next generation therapy, autologous cell therapies, which are addressing unmet needs in blood cancers like lymphomas and leukemias. And I think this is a company that will go far in providing affordable access to these new therapies which are beyond the reach of patients in this part of the world, and we are hoping to correct that. And not just for India but for the developing world. So I think that's very exciting. And then there are so many new technologies, CRISPR technologies, mRNA technologies and what have you. And I think it's not that Biocon can do everything, but I think there are opportunities for biotech companies to play in these areas. And I think it's a very, very exciting time for biotech worldwide, and especially for Indian biotechs, because I think the talent base that we have in biology and biosciences is growing. And I think there's a lot of exciting things happening with the convergence of technologies. So I think IISc is playing a very pivotal role in taking that forward.
Excellent. I think we are running out of time, so I'll cut it short. But I would like to know, just in closing, biotech pioneer, ace philanthropist, billionaire entrepreneur, you're one of the most influential women in the world. What's next for you?
Well, I think, it's not about what's next for me, it's about how do I scale up what I've done so far. How do I make more impact through philanthropy? How do I garner more philanthropic interest? Okay. How do I basically make sure that everything that I have invested in terms of my philanthropy, how does it make bigger impact? I think those are the kind of things I want to focus on. There's so much to be done, and my philanthropy is just a sort of a small drop of contribution to that big ocean. So I just feel that trying to make impact out of my philanthropy is going to be very important.
Excellent. We wish you much luck, and thank you so much again for doing this.
Thank you.